Hello. Time for another quick tip. Just the tip. When it comes down to cabling, actually, there's always been some kind of dispute and debate about it because people are like, use Cat6, use Cat5. Okay, I'll tell you what I do. I'm in Ontario, Canada, which is a K-rain zone, so that helps me determine two things. One, it gets wet here. Yeah, it gets moist. Two, we have a lot of lightning. So personally, for home installs, I typically either use whatever in-house shielded cheapy cable that they've got, like the CommScope or Shireen or Ubiquiti Tough Cable Pro. On towers, I'm very picky though. Now, I don't use Cat6. 99.9% of the time, I honestly use Tough Cable Carrier from Ubiquiti. I'm not concerned about the moisture content of the cable because if moisture gets into the cable to the point where it's draining out of it, well, you're not going to get more than a few years out of that cable. You might get like 5 years out of it. So for me personally, I go for electrical protection and I add drainage in the drip loop inside the enclosure or inside of the Radio Shack. So with most tower stuff, I'll use Ubiquiti Tough Cable Carrier, and mainly because it's got the double shielded cabling, and it's pretty much Cat6 with the amount of twists that are in the cable versus regular Cat5. Now, that's my opinion.
That's my opinion!
So here's the reasoning. Cat5 and Cat6, or I should say Cat5E versus Cat6, Cat6A, this Cat6 is rated for 10 gigs, okay? But the only major difference is that you got some more twists and the pairs are actually divided by a crosser. With Cat5E, double shielded, especially the Tough Cable Pro, it has nearly as many twists in it per inch. So it's comparable, so really there's no point, and you're running a gig anyway. If you're doing more than a gig, you're running fiber up your tower. So that's why I settle for Cat5E, double shielded for my tower stuff, and Cat5E at home installs. But I always make sure that it's UV stabilized, shielded outdoor cabling at the very least, okay? Okay. Now, FM tower sites. If you're on a radio tower, things get a little trickier because even if you run Cat6 up the tower, you're going to run into problems with FM interference on your pairs. Solution for that. Use an up-tower switch, run fiber and DC to that switch, and then use Cat8 jumpers, I have one here, to your radio equipment. Cool thing about Cat8, every single pair is shielded. Then that's shielded, and then there's more shield. Because this has to actually handle signals that are 2,000 megahertz wide to be able to do the 40 gigabits per second that these are rated for, okay? Okay. Therefore, they need to be damn pure. Very, 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 very clean, okay? Okay. So, if you've got an FM tower site, to reiterate, up tower switch, fiber and DC to that switch, router on the ground, and then Cat8 jumpers to the devices, and that'll help you protect it. Now, as far as PoE is concerned, anything that has PoE on it, I try to keep it to around 200 feet max. If you're going more than 200, 250 feet with PoE, you're going to run into problems. A solution to that is Cat6. Cat6 is actually a heavier gauge as well as more twists, ultimately. In most cases, by the way. Sometimes for indoor stuff, the Cat6 has the same gauge, just more twists. But anyway, you'll find typically with outdoor cabling that Cat6 is a heavier gauge, okay? So it can handle the current better. You don't run into as much current loss. But then again, if you're going to be over 200 feet, you should probably, consider designing your site with an up-tower switch. As much as I hate up-tower switches, keep it all on the ground. It makes it easier if there's emergencies. So anyway, there's my little quick tip for today, my little rant. Have a great night.